Welcome to the show that is about everything and nothing all at once, with the goal of bringing a little humor to your day. Like us, love us, hate us. I hope you don't. But if you do, hey, we're proof that there is a better podcast. Ooh. I need to get some auto-tune on that later. Welcome to the show. My name is Tony, and off to my right,
I'm DeeLow.
Off to my left,
Sarah.
And across from me is the InternNet.
Hello.
Hi, InternNet.
Hi.
If you want to email us, how do you do that, Sarah?
At thereisabetterpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, actually, that's how you reach us, but I was curious how you do it. But anyway, DeeLow, where do you reach us on Twitter?
Phone.
You can do that by going to There Is a Better and then the number one.
Juan.
And let's ask the internet. How does the internet find us on Instagram?
There is a better podcast.
Dang,
Man,
Skippy.
he's on it.
Whew, the internet is on it.
Didn't even have the notes in front of him.
No.
I know.
That's pretty good.
Wow. He picks up on things.
He's got the young brain.
The internet might actually know something here and there as opposed to just regurgitating facts. Coming up this hour, we'll hitch a ride on Are You Not Entertained? We'll also try some more chips that we didn't get to last week. And maybe we'll have a time to play a round of Master Debater. But first, it is a self-indulgent theme episode today. We're going to talk about ourselves for a little bit, more specifically about our well-being. And yes, even though Mental Health Month was last month, you know that we here at There Is a Better Podcast, we're always right on top of the trend. So
Or at least
just
always in need of mental health.
On top of being late.
so it's on par
Both.
for us to
Win-win.
we're about a half a month late. We'll talk about stress, self-help, self-care, and ways to improve your mood to reorient your compass. But first, before we get to that, DeeLow, what is our word for today from the word hole?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Our word for the day is
Salubrious.
Salubrious. It sounds
Salubrious.
And what does salubrious mean? Would you, if you care to share?
it
share,
means
care, share.
health-giving or healthy. That's it.
That's a long definition. Wow. Can you?
I think the word is actually
salubrious.
longer than the definition
Salubrious.
itself.
I think so too.
I mean, yeah.
Salubrious.
Salubrious.
Can
So
you
hopefully,
say it? Oh.
Yep.
Apparently the derivatives are also of a place pleasant, not run down. So you could say we're in a salubrious basement.
A salubrious basement. It is pretty decently kept up. No, I'm just kidding. It's pretty. I don't know.
basement.
It's fine. It's a basement. Doesn't have to be anything more, anything
It
less.
is a finished
It beats
basement.
the crap out of my basement.
It's a finished basement. You got one of those Michigan basements? It's dirt?
Oh,
this,
it's even-
this can go almost any way you want to take that.
Okay. I'm like Michigan basement,
There's no basement.
dirt basement,
Well,
no basement.
There's
Oh.
kind of no basement.
I mean, if you're talking about me personally, I was talking about the basement. But
Da-da,
Oh, boy.
yeah, there you go. But
Yes.
no, there's no basement in my house.
Relating it to a home. Okay.
I thought you were talking about,
so he has a crawl
the
space.
crawl
I do.
space.
There you go.
And how many people are in
And
that
that's
crawl space?
usually as many as I can fit in
I was
there.
going to say all of them.
All of them. Ooh.
Woo. Oh,
That
sorry. I
was
keep
like-
hitting your,
that was like-
which one is that one?
I think you're hitting Morty.
That's Morty, the young one.
Yeah, DeeLow's got a pair of
Yeah,
Rick and
let me-
Morty
let me-
slippers
let me
for
hit
those
Rick.
who are playing at home.
No, I wasn't trying to.
Like he just flat out
I know
kicks
he
me.
did,
I mean,
I
that
know.
was a kick me.
He sure did, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
take no
Grandpa Rick is not happy.
No,
Good.
Grandpa
you're
Rick
going
is
to
not
rile
happy.
up the owner.
Has he ever been happy?
You're not being
He's
never
also
happy.
Salubrious.
You're not being salubrious.
Salubrious.
Good.
Our better recommendation for today is self-care. Again, I know that Mental Health Month was May, and we're always known for being right on top of trends. So I mentioned this late into June is right on par for us. So we're going to start out with, stress. Now, I'm going to be digging into some personal aspects here, so hope you don't mind. I'm not going to try and go too into the weeds with it, but this will probably take up the first entire half of the show. So if you want to go ahead and just skip
We'll
to
see you
about
after the break.
35 minutes in. Yeah, really.
Just kidding.
So I've been living with a lot of stress, some external, mostly self-imposed, and a lot of the stress has been due to not meeting self-imposed level of success or perfection. I've been seeing a therapist. We've been talking about perfection. When that happens, then the next step is shaming. And this might sound familiar. The next step after that is negative self-talk. And finally, depression comes out of that. And we'll get to those items as we go
These are things that you've covered with your therapist?
These are things I've covered with my therapist, things that I've also just kind of discovered along the way as well. But I don't, I don't want to get too much into that yet. I will get into it as we go along. But first, let's, this is what happens when you try and run the board and the other thing, but.
So our word of the day is
salubrious.
What was the definition again?
Yeah.
health-giving or healthy, but it could also apply to of a place pleasant and not run down.
Oh, okay. A place pleasant or not run down.
A place pleasant or not run down.
Okay.
Yeah. And hopefully you're not run down. But
All right,
first,
did you get it up?
Yeah. Wow.
How much self-care were you doing over there? All right.
Stress. Mental and physical health. Self-care practices and how we can better ourselves mentally and physically.
Could he sound more
Stress. Stress.
There you go. All right, let's talk about stress, shall we? So, what is it? Why does it exist? And what good is it? According to medlineplus.gov and the National Library of Medicine, stress is defined as a feeling of emotional or physical tension. It can come in any event, from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, nervous. Stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or demand. And in short bursts, stress can be positive, such as when it helps to avoid danger or meet a deadline. But when stress lasts for a long time, it may harm your health. There are two types of stress. Anybody want to try and figure out what before we ask the internet? Anybody want to?
The internet probably already
Physical and
interneted.
mental.
I didn't.
We got physical and mental. Sarah, what do you believe are the two types of stress?
I just know this.
I know you know this. That's why I'm not picking on you yet.
I don't know.
This is just like school.
Yeah. Well, see, when you know everything, it's very easy to be able to answer the questions. But
So two types of stress is what
so
you're
let's
asking. What are the
give the
two
kids
types
in
of
the
stress?
back a chance to
Although
answer.
this one's he's
kind of in the
knowledgeable.
front. He is knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Well, you're both
He's
knowledgeable.
at the front of the classroom. Yeah, he's one of those kids that sits in the
Normally,
front of the
he's
class
the
on this
teacher.
subject.
Normally, he's the
It's the
teacher,
kid that gets
and
spit
we're
on
the
by
class.
the spitting teacher.
Yeah.
Don't talk.
For those playing at home, they're pointing at me.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank
Quiet
you.
one.
The
That's
quiet
at the
one. It's
front
the one that you
knew
got to
answer.
watch.
Oh God.
All right. So, all
Two
right.
types.
Two types of stress. Go ahead and tell us, internet.
It's dis and eustress.
Can you say those in full word of
Distress and eustress.
Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Eustress is a motivating stress, which energizes us to take action. Example of eustress is like taking a vacation. It can refresh your perspective and re-energize your thoughts. Like when DeeLow and I went to New York, all of a sudden I had this re-energized feeling to redo the bedroom in my old house. And then I started looking for bathroom remodeling ideas. And I'm sure you remember me talking about that.
I do.
Sarah, when you went to Germany.
Sarah, when you went to Hawaii.
And when you went to Hawaii, see,
I
that
would
was
say Sarah when you went to Hawaii
when
with
you went
your
to Hawaii.
sister.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was a very reset, refresh. It was also in the middle of the pandemic. So that was part of it too, was just, oh my gosh, I'm out of the house. So that was
That was
eye-opening.
huge. I bet.
Yeah.
Party!
No, I'm going to tell you right now, I had one cocktail the whole trip.
Wow.
It wasn't
drink
about
more,
that.
You
One
drink more
cocktail.
on the show than
I
you
drank
did in
more
that
on the
entire
show
week.
than I did absolutely.
In Hawaii. Wow.
In Hawaii, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, it was just
Wow.
about like
being there.
just being there,
Yeah.
being very present and just really appreciating all of it.
That's fair.
honestly.
That's fair.
Honestly.
amazing.
Yeah.
And DeeLow, when you bought another example could be a challenge to oneself. So when you bought your house,
Yeah.
a challenge that you set to yourself, it was a good stress was to declutter the garage attic, the space above the garage.
Which is, we know I pretty much found an entire Cutlass in there.
I thought you were going to say a doll collection.
No,
Oh God!
Creepy doll collection.
Oh, there was some creepy stuff up there for sure, but
a whole car?
they'd taken the entire. It was like a mother-in-law suite in the top of the garage.
Okay.
And what they did was they had all these car parts buried behind the wall, so you did not see it.
I'm surprised.
Behind the
when you said
wall.
cutlass, I was thinking you found a sword.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
that would be a cut more.
It's a vehicle.
Yeah, that used to be a vehicle
Split in
back in the 80s
This is
and
well
90s.
before the
See, this is
internet.
what happens when the internet comes on.
I know.
You have to remember reset.
The internet is not that old.
Yeah, so I seriously found a car
young
bumper
internet.
in there, a car door, some windshields,
door.
some tie rods,
Yeah.
just all sorts of stuff.
You found a
And
barrel
I
up there,
almost
too.
could have, a big oil barrel,
Donkey Kong.
Not full of oil.
but I could have built a car by the time I was done.
Wow.
What surprised me most after seeing all that stuff is knowing that somehow there was enough force in the world to keep all of that from falling through the attic onto the
You say
main
that.
floor.
But I've got like this
It's
bow in my
sad.
garage.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to look at.
Yeah,
I
that
need to
should
get it
go
fixed this summer. Anyway,
Yeah,
I need to get
So
what?
the decluttering de-stressed.
What was it? Was it de-stress?
it's eustress.
Eustress.
Eustress is a good stress.
I
You're
need
kinda
to get
challenged.
eustressed to get the garage
Why do you need to get
repaired.
me stressed?
To get-
I don't need
to
to
get
be
the
stressed at
garage
all. I had
repaired.
enough stress the past couple days. And distress, the opposite of that is extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain. An example of that could be a bad work environment. I think we all have experienced that at some point. Loss of a family member. I think we've all experienced that at some point. Tight deadlines. Coming up with a podcast episode at 10 in the morning on the day that we're recording. And more recently, distress including news headlines or distress-inducing news headlines. I mean, that's just an
going on for
everyday
years,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do we deal with it? Or how do we cope with it?
Drink.
Now, we were talking
In a
about...
healthy way.
Yes.
We were talking about...
in a
Salubrious.
way.
There we
we
go.
were talking about last week about YouTube videos. One that I forgot to mention was Katie Morton. She's a licensed therapist who provides therapy content on YouTube, and she also has her own podcast called Ask Katie Anything. And she has a video on coping skills. She talks about 25 coping skills, which are a lot of coping skills, but she defines it here.
A coping skill is any characteristic or behavioral pattern that enhances a person's adaptation, meaning that if we feel stress all the time, we can create those defense mechanisms or coping skills to help us better manage or lessen the stress. And these can be distraction techniques or tools to help us process through all that we may be feeling.
So 25, again, that's a lot, but I went on a couple different websites just to get some ideas of coping skills. I'm sure we all kind of have our own ways of dealing with shit in our own lives. So the website myclevelandclinic.org offers the following. 1, lower your expectations. 2, ask others to help you. 3, take responsibility for the situation. Actually, it sounds a lot like the city of Cleveland is projecting something out there. So there's a lot of work for them.
some
Let's move
problems.
on here. I went to another
Lowered
website,
expectations. That's all I can think of.
PositivePsychology.com suggests practicing meditation and relaxation skills. And if you want a good recommendation on an app to help you do that, DeeLow's provided something on episode 38, which is from January 17th. And that was the Calm app.
Calm app.
The Calm app.
All right.
Number 2. Go ahead, Sarah.
I was going to say, I think Keith Morrison just added to that Calm app where he reads.
Oh,
So if you're
really?
a big Dateline fan, now
How does
Keith
that
Morrison
calm
is going to
someone
read to
if
you.
You don't have the Calm
and
app,
make
do
you
you?
calm. They announced it on Twitter. It was a
Oh, okay.
She does
big-
now.
It was a big thing.
She's downloading it as we
I
speak.
will actually have to check that out.
Yeah, Keith Morrison.
Number 2, have time to yourself. I did a lot of this. I'd say to a benefit and maybe even to a detriment. Too much time can be hazardous and could lead to isolation, so be careful. In fact, I had to do that a weekend ago. I just needed to be away from everybody and everything. So apologies to those who I said I was going to hang out with, and then I was like, no, I gotta duck out. Happens.
Know your limits.
3, physical activity or exercise. 4, reading. 5, spending time with friends or family. Number 6, humor, like a certain podcast which tells a listener that there may be a better one than the one you're currently listening to. Number 7, spending time on hobbies, like a certain podcast which tells a listener that there may be a better one than the one that they're listening to. Or even 8, engaging in spirituality. DeeLow, Sarah, have you tried any of these? And if you have, what has it helped? What happened when you attempted any of these? Meditation, relaxation, reading, exercise, time to yourself?
I've done probably half of them. I'm not.
Did you lower your expectations like the city of Cleveland?
I hope that they're meaning like the expectation on yourself.
Yes.
Of holding yourself at some really high accountability level that you just can't possibly maintain or maybe attain, depending on what the thing is or the things are.
Yeah.
I do find myself having time to myself is important. And typically I will use that for like exercise. So like if I'm going on a long bike ride, I'll take sometimes a 2.5 hour bike ride.
Wow.
I will bike 30 miles by myself, and everybody knows just leave mom alone.
Leave mom alone. She's on her bike.
She's just going to go for a ride, and we'll see her later. Or, as short as an hour, as long as 2.5, something like that.
An hour is a short ride?
Yeah, an hour is my standard.
Good
yeah.
Lord.
Yep.
My ass would be like tenderized meat after that.
So I kind of partner those together, like, doing something healthy and doing something that's just gets me away from things. And then I wish I could pick up on the reading. I need to do the audio.
Yeah,
maybe I could do that while I bike.
there
it might
you
be
go.
too many things.
I mean, I would do it during bike rides. I can see that easily as a thing.
Yeah.
You also need to start reading that stupid book so we can all
I
do
know.
it.
I was thinking about that.
What was
It's
it,
sitting on my
Greenleaf?
nightstand.
Green sleeves? Green?
No, Midnight Library.
Oh, Midnight
Midnight
Library.
Library.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get back on that.
All right,
So
all
we
right,
can do
all
that.
right.
We can do that on a future app.
Okay, we should set a date so I have a deadline
Okay.
to get it done
should
by.
I?
That would be
is that a
helpful.
you stress?
Is that
that
a
might
challenge?
be a you stress?
No,
That's
it's
a self
actually-
challenge.
Should we take your expectations down a
No,
bit?
I think it's actually setting like a timeline.
Okay.
Is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a healthy thing, setting a timeline, because then it holds me accountable, and it's still a good de-stressor just to sit and read.
Also a good book.
There you go.
Yes, it is.
Says the internet.
Says the internet. The internet knows all.
I would say that
what's
out of
yours?
that list, definitely meditation. You guys know is a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I find that, and it's weird because I feel like I didn't start meditating probably until 2 or 3 years ago, and even then, I'm not consistently good at it. Like
So-
I don't do it every day.
Pre-pandemic was kind of, or was it the pandemic that really?
Well, hell, I
hoisted you into
kind of
that?
started back in the day when you and I were still roommates.
Yeah.
and
I was the cause of that.
No.
No,
Hey, where's our internet button? You know what? It's too late.
He's playing on his phone.
Thank
There
you.
it is.
He's doing what young kids do.
Yeah, distractions.
The internet is all.
Yeah, that's that. But even what little I do, I find to be a huge benefit to be
Salubrious.
There's that word.
and a great way to just kind of center your mind, focus, and realign yourself. And it's one of those things where I talk to people about it, and they still kind of giggle, and I'm like, giggle, it's fine. But I'm telling you, it is so helpful to just kind of take a moment, like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
10 minutes, and just try to allow yourself to not think. And the thing that I get the most often is people telling me, well, I can't do it because my brain will not stop thinking. And that's the point.
That's the point,
You,
right?
you know, you don't get me wrong. Even as long as I've been doing it, my brain wanders. But it's to notice that your brain is doing that you are not focused as much as you think you are.
And to train it to come back to
Whatever it
focusing
is
on whatever it
going
is that
on,
you're
yeah.
focusing on. Sometimes it's just your breath, taking breaths, and you just listen to yourself breathing. And then all of a sudden, like a song comes in your head, or a joke comes in your head, or something that you heard the other day, or whatever, or something that you read.
That's if you're thinking of happy thoughts.
Right.
But a lot of people don't even do that. They think the bad thoughts.
Sure.
And that's what creeps into your mind.
And that's-
even in meditation, it will happen to me where I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm not thinking about that right now. Just stop.
But then the fact that you realize it helps to try and recenter your brain
Yes.
or recenter yourself.
Yeah.
If I could use the energy I use on the energy I give to worry,
Yeah.
if I could put that someplace else, oh my gosh, I'd be so much more of a
And
productive
do you
and
remember,
happy person.
Do you remember my quote?
Do you remember the time?
What I thought of? Or what was it, 3 episodes back?
Oh.
It's never time to worry until it's time to worry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There it
That's
is.
that's my
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I
That
remember
is
saying
that
it.
that
Now
is
that
one
you
of,
say it.
that is one of my credos. Something that I live by.
Yeah.
But beyond that, on that list, I'd say I'm not going to say reading because I don't do as much reading as I'd like, just like Sarah.
Yeah.
But I do audiobooks, and those are actually
We'll
very
count that.
relaxing.
We'll count that.
I don't exercise aside from golf. I would say that would be a stress reliever.
I can't say golf is exercising necessarily. Knowing that we drink.
I agree.
Golf,
I agree.
But it is activity.
I wouldn't say it is exercise, but I tell you what, I would not be moving around or getting any exercise if it wasn't for golf.
Good point.
And
is better
at the
than
same
nothing.
time,
Yeah.
what I was saying is it's not necessarily stress-free. That's the problem.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you can keep in mind and get yourself refocused to
putt-putt.
it's a game. Shut the hell up. You're having a bad game. Just enjoy the time out in nature, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do sometimes.
Let's ask the internet. Let's ask the internet. Is there anything that you've noticed yourself, like going through any stress, anything that you've had to kind of recenter yourself, or
How do the youngins deal with it these
how does
days?
the young internet deal with
I hope
stress?
it's not on the Xbox.
I mean, if it is, it is.
I was gonna say. I'm not gonna say that, but you're not wrong.
Poning noobs on the
Playing
Xbox.
Skyrim and like escaping from some stuff and coming back to it later helps. Like taking a break from things.
and then going to a Slipknot concert.
Yes. Actually, that was what I was. That's actually what I was going to say. Is the thing? One of the things that I do that isn't actually on there is listening to music.
Yeah.
Like right before
And
this,
I was going to say the same thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, listen,
I
nice.
completely forgot.
I was just listening to Five Finger Death Punch
Yeah.
because I was like a little bit stressed about doing this. So I was like, I'm going to listen to a little bit of that.
Nothing calms the soul like a little
Oh,
five-finger
yeah.
death
Death
punch.
Nothing like
While you're
righteous side
pounding
of
a
hell.
monster drink.
There's just
Yes.
so much
Okay.
goddamn.
That's
It
the
helps.
thing. It's
My
whatever
life.
works for you.
If that doesn't
then-
settle you down, I don't know
That's
what
Oh,
settled
it
Break
does.
down.
It's so nice.
But you know what? To each their own. That's
Yeah, that's
just
it.
it.
That's
That's
it.
what, whatever works for you.
I do. The
Can we get the content strike out of the way?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
I got to look it
What
up
else were
real
you
quick.
gonna
So
say?
you keep talking.
I was gonna say reading. 'Cause
Reading, yeah, you love the
I
reading.
read all the time.
Yeah.
My goal for this year.
Well, the internet knows how to. I mean, the internet knows everything.
I know how to
therefore, it
read.
reads everything.
so
And we're talking books.
the
Bookbooks.
Bookbooks,
I
yeah.
don't really
Cookbooks.
do audiobooks because whenever I have time to do them, I usually either one don't pay attention because I'm multitasking, like playing a video game or something, or I'm doing it right before I go to bed, so I fall asleep. That's happened to me on more than one occasion
So
where I
reading
fall
books,
asleep while
listening to
it.
music.
Yeah, I
Reading
tend to listen
books.
to podcasts before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
That always puts me right out.
Reading-
Normally, it's this one.
This one, yeah.
Reading books and listening to podcast and reading books and listening to music. Reading books and listening to music at the same time is something that helps. Like, because my goal for this year was like 10 books in 1 year.
Okay.
I'm up to like 6 so far.
Wow.
And I recently just bought 3 books I listened to in audiobooks because I love them. Like, they're probably some of my favorite books, and I'm rereading them and remembering how much I forgot. But yeah, reading definitely does help.
And so basically, at any basically, take a drink.
Oh, okay.
No, you're
Cheers.
fine. Oh, sorry.
What?
No one's
I'm trying to find this part of the song because it's just
Trying
funny.
cheers
It's funny
you.
Churs. I already drank.
when he mentioned the whole stress thing, and I'm not going to get to it. So just
Okay.
go. Just move on.
what are you looking for?
All right. Can I get a dolphin, please?
Whoops, that's completely the wrong song.
I know which one you were going for. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I was listening to this song. That's the song that comes on right after.
I just find it funny because that's what he's like basically talking about in this whole thing.
Take another drink.
Wait,
He's talking about de-stressing?
basically take a drink.
Take another drink.
He's talking
Pretty
about
much.
de-stressing?
In the beginning.
Really?
There it is.
It's fun being the only lady
Now we're
on the show.
Well, I don't know this song either, so we're deconstructing.
Yeah, I don't
Let
know
me see
this
if I
song
can get
at
to the
all.
beginning. The problem is they got this big intro in the beginning, so you don't get to the beginning.
Look,
What?
such a good song. I love this song.
Here we go.
Okay.
There's just so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm always getting colder. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy,
saw
but I'm
that.
always getting older. With a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside.
Oh,
The audience is like, oh, she's momming.
Oh, look out.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of about stress a little bit.
It's a little bit about
yeah,
stress.
I actually had that on my
We
playlist.
all have that.
Yeah,
See?
it's a good song.
Everybody's got it.
Everybody's got it, and everybody deals with it in every single way. But if you don't know how to deal with that, or if you somehow still can't get past that, we're moving on to the next step, shame. And yes, it is a real thing. And yes, people can do it to themselves. It's not. Yeah,
We didn't get what off the list of anything that maybe you partake in.
I would.
Did you say things? We
Um,
didn't hear from you.
Well,
You're an exerciser.
We did a 360.
I do. Yeah, I attempt to run. I might walk more often
Doesn't
than
matter.
that. I'll hit
Doing the thing.
I'll hit the bike and the trail throughout the city. I'll do that.
Sure.
That actually relieved a lot of stress.
There you go. Pressure.
I've been trying to read a bit more as we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But humor, that's like my number one thing. YouTube a lot. We talked about that last week
Yeah,
again. YouTube, and even Stupid things on Reddit. Reddit's a great place to find stupid videos.
I keep looking, and I don't know what you're talking about.
So
You better just-
the right spots.
I still haven't been able to get
there's
into Reddit.
there's a
I've tried.
subreddit called Idiots in Cars, and there's also a subreddit called Facepalm. And let me tell you,
That's such a good face. That's such a good subreddit.
oh, isn't it though? Like the So the
Schadenfreude.
Thank you. Is real.
Yeah.
Is real. It is very real.
Israel.
No, not
What's
Israel.
it got to do with them?
We're not talking about
real.
Palestine.
Real.
But another thing too, the coping skills. I've started to lower my expectations, and I actually had a conversation with my therapist about that too. And I was saying, is the fact that I'm feeling better just an effect of lowering my expectations, lowering the bar, and therefore I'm kind of giving up. And so that was.
How do you feel about giving? Well, this is a conversation with your.
Well, no,
anyway,
go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
no, I was
it's
going
a
to say,
valid
how do you
question
feel
here.
about giving? Like when you give something up, like do you feel like it's a positive because you acknowledge that maybe it was something you should have thought more about taking on at the time. Maybe it wasn't a good time to take that on.
Well,
And pausing is okay.
pausing's
Like
fine.
allowing yourself to say, like, you know what, this isn't a priority, and that's okay.
Well, yes and no. I would say lowering the expectation or lowering the bar really is what I was experiencing. And just a few days ago, like I recognize that, knowing that when I've lowered the bar, then like there's good that comes out of it. That just means that I don't have that weight on my shoulders that I have to do. Like I'll have a list of like 7 or 8 things on my to-do list for the day. And if I'll feel the weight of that first thing in the morning. And so I might not get out of bed until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And then by that time, I still have to shower. By that time, it's, 3, 4 o'clock. Most places close at 5 or 6. Well, now that whole list that I wanted to accomplish has shrunk significantly. And therefore, that's when the shame comes in, which was the next thing I'm going to.
So the InternNet was
Yes, the
distracting me
internet.
a little bit there. So you're
we
saying
got
this
something.
this happens on the weekends, or this happens?
This happens a lot, but mostly on the weekends.
But you shame yourself after not getting something accomplished.
The next-
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, shame is a real thing. People do it to themselves. It's not just something that you can do anonymously on social media. We don't condone that, for the record. Self-shaming, it's a learned behavior used as an accountability tool, but eventually turns into negative self-talk. And I'm sure
Yeah.
we've probably experienced that in some
Somebody
yeah.
has to some degree, yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes this leads you to what may be referred to as a shame spiral. I'm sure you've heard that before. And it's most notably characterized by Nine Inch Nails' 1994 release of The Downward Spiral.
I saw that tour. It was really good. Yeah.
No jokes here. It actually leads off with a song called Mr. Self-Destruct. Excellent album, though.
It is.
And then once you're down in the spiral, your learned mechanisms are an automatic drive. And then you reach that low point of depression. So that's your journey. And the National Institute of Mental Health defines depression as common but serious mood disorder. It causes severe symptoms that affect how you feel, think, and handle daily activities such as sleeping, eating, or working. And to be diagnosed with depression, the symptoms must be present for at least 2 weeks. So if you're feeling bad for like a day, that's, and then it goes away, you don't feel it for like a month. That's just having a mood swing where, you had a bad day.
Right.
But if it's at least 2 weeks and it's chronic and it's just something that doesn't leave you alone, you two, I'm going to have to separate you and throw you into the corner. They're having
It ain't me,
foot
man.
wars down here.
It's Ricky.
Rick and Morty
It's
versus
Rick.
the boots.
It's Rick's doing it.
Rick doesn't like to get the boot. That's one thing I know.
Well, I brought the
Jackie.
boots, so
We probably should recap. I have Rick and Morty
Rick
slippers
and Morty
on.
slippers
and
again.
I'm wearing black combat boots with
Yeah.
studs on the.
It's just a war zone.
It's the man trying to keep Rick and Morty down.
That's right.
That's pretty much every episode.
You and your blackjack
God?
boots.
Yeah, watch out.
So symptoms of depression include persistent sad, anxious, or empty mood, feelings of hopelessness or pessimism, irritability, feelings of guilt, worthlessness, helplessness, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies and activities, decreased energy, fatigue. Probably felt that a lot. I've felt that a lot.
Am I
You probably
depressed?
even heard the next one, moving or talking more slowly. Like, I'm sure that you've noticed, like, I've talked slowly a lot, sometimes even clouded whatever it was that I was going to say, and like take 4 to 5 seconds between words.
Shit, I feel like that all the time.
Yeah.
yeah, same.
Foggy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I will say that I Yeah, I suffer from that myself sometimes.
And then when you're feeling good, words are rolling off the tongue,
Sure.
like,
Is it a confidence thing?
Well, that could also be part of it. That part hasn't really
Oh, okay.
surfaced in the little bit of research. And I'm just saying a little bit of research. I can't even say that it scratched the surface, but
I thought you were a professional at this.
Professional. Note taker. Feeling restlessness, having trouble sitting still, difficulty concentrating, remembering or making decisions. Hello. Sleeping issues, appetite, thoughts of death or suicide, aches or pains. It becomes physical.
Mm-hmm.
Depression can be looked at as the cause of being unhappy, but it's more likely that the depression is the tip of the iceberg. Just as a family goes on vacation, the destination is not always the story of the trip. They had to travel far and wide to get there. Our destination is depression. The journey is whatever the original trigger that causes the... I just lost my place here. The destination is not always the story of the trip. They had to travel far and wide to get there. Our destination is depression. The journey is whatever the original trigger that causes shame, followed by a trip down negative self-talk lane, a stop at the self-harm gas station to fuel up more negative self-talk, then the loop back to shame, continuous circle down the drain to depression. It's the result of the journey, not the cause.
You're making me feel very well adjusted. I'm not gonna lie.
And in this, how so?
I don't really tend to suffer from a lot of that.
That's great.
But I will say once again, a lot of it has to do with the meditation.
Right.
Because I'm very aware of when I'm starting to walk down that path.
And you've found your coping mechanisms to avoid that, or not even avoid that, but just go down a different path.
He's saying he's better than us.
No, not at all.
It's really important to know what's
The
going to...
internet knows all.
That would be the opposite of what meditation is. Right.
It's important to know what's going to help you keep level so that you don't start traveling down that path, right?
And
right. But that goes back to the whole meditation thing.
Can I get a game show ding on that, please?
Yeah. It's realizing your brain is doing things that you really don't have a lot of control over. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
And sometimes it's a practice thing as well. So like it's learned by yourself. Sometimes it's like, I don't know if you've heard of nature versus nurture or nature and nurture, very, kind of a psychological thing. Mm-hmm. But whatever it is that you've learned from external resources or external sources, whether it be something that is nurtured by family or friends or, again, external sources or nature. Maybe it was just something you instantly had within you to be positive or negative.
Well,
did we just hit an enlightenment moment there?
Maybe.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
That makes sense.
And so whatever path that you're walking down, you continue to do that and you get practice at it and you get good at it, whether it's negative or positive. And in this case, like what DeeLow's saying, you've kind of figured out how to not go down that not go down that negative path anymore.
As much. And it's not to say that I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And Tony and I have talked about it before. I do not come from a positive family.
Okay.
They're not a bunch of, hey, everything's great and sunshiny in the world. Yeah, welcome to the... Yeah, it's not that kind of a deal. I actually have a fairly negative family. And by that, I mean pessimistic.
Sure.
I come from a family, not a lot of money.
Bunch of gripers. Just kidding. Sorry.
Definitely advocates of the Murphy's Law. The whole concept of Murphy's Law.
Whatever's going to happen will happen.
Yeah. Anything bad that can happen will happen.
Can and will happen.
That is my family. And I had
That's
to...
rough. Yeah.
But I had to kind of be very conscious of what was going on in this brain in order to get out of that.
Yeah.
Because I found myself doing it all the time. And I'm like...
I can't live here.
And I didn't want to.
Right. This is not where I want to live.
And it's one of those things that I figured it out probably early on, but it took me years to kind of find out that, because I used to be one of the people that used to laugh at meditation. And I still laugh at myself every once in a while, sitting on a pillow.
Sitting on
doing
a pillow.
Doing my
Sounds like a bad country
which I
song.
don't. I don't actually do the
The sound.
in my room.
although I do like doing it.
Well, whatever
Well, it
gets you to
sounds
that
good when you
place.
do it. I'm not going to lie.
Here, let me do it from
Yeah, it's not going to pick
Does
up.
it come out?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
All right. Never
You're
mind.
gonna have to be more oratorial than that. Oh,
There you go. Oh.
Okay.
good God! Who brought the
Gregorian chants.
What's that?
They have an app for that, right?
Didgeridoo?
Yeah.
Oh, the didgeridoo.
Yeah, the didgeridoo.
Yeah.
Didgeridoo. Oh, I like that.
I can't get that.
Have you ever seen anyone try a didgeridoo?
No.
Yes.
I have,
We-
and they
yeah.
failed, and it was hilarious.
Are we talking about Hugh
It's like,
Jackman?
how do you do the didgeridoo?
Yeah.
Did he fail? He didn't fail, did he?
I
Oh,
don't
I didn't
think he
see that.
failed.
I saw it in person.
Oh.
No, yeah, I'm pretty
Somebody
sure.
brought a family member of ours went to Australia, and they brought home a didgeridoo,
Wowzers.
which, by the way,
I
is no
told you
small thing.
No.
And they're like, "Here,
what, 10
let
feet
me
long
show
or
ya."
something like that?
Let me show you. And we're like,
me show
okay.
you
And they
sometime.
try and do it, and it was like, it did not work out for them. It was bad. We're like, is that what it's supposed to sound like? A dying cat or cow or something?
All right, Tony, get us
Anyway.
back on track.
Yeah. So in
Yes,
this
please.
case, we need to figure out how to work with the journey and change the direction, because the direction, the ultimate destination,
I'm sorry, I'm going to pull us back off
is
track.
depression. Yeah. Go ahead.
I will say trying a didgeridoo might be a fun way to
God
relieve some
damn it.
stress.
It
You know
might
what?
be.
That might be the humor that we're talking about.
Because the beauty of it is
Playing an
just
instrument.
Playing an
saying the
instrument.
word didgeridoo
It's
And
funny.
we'll get to
is
that in a
so
second.
damn fun.
Isn't it great?
Didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo.
All right.
Saying dumb German words.
Back to
Oh,
our
now,
scheduled
now,
program.
Now
we can get back
to
onto
the-
it.
okay.
He
Oh,
says now we can.
wait.
No, I'm just
Saying
kidding.
dumb German
If
words.
you
Internet.
want to stay off track, we can do it.
No.
Saying German words are also fun, like biology, Biologie,
Biologie?
Schmetterling for butterfly,
Schmiggerling?
Schmetterling.
Schmetterling?
I'm not going to say that.
I
Yeah.
like
All right,
that.
back
Saying
on
dumb
track.
German words.
That's
All
not
It's not dumb. It's just the way you
this
say
is
it in
German words.
German.
They're fun German words. Yeah.
All right.
Therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and doctors can recommend pharmaceuticals, although therapists and psychologists cannot prescribe them,
Psychiatrist
but
can.
they can recommend. Psychiatrists and doctors can prescribe.
Yeah.
Most people may not have access to these resources. If you do, check with your healthcare provider to find out who or what services are in your network. The National Institute of Mental Health, we will leave a link to that, by the way, provides a list of resources for those who have healthcare, those who are seeking healthcare, and those who do not have healthcare. One thing I'd recommend, though, and this is kind of going back to the better recommendation, full circle, is self-care. What is self-care? I had so much difficulty understanding this phrase, self-care.
So your better recommendation is self-care.
Self-care. What is it? First of all, most of it is free, which is the only 4-letter word that you can ever encourage your child to say out loud.
Starting with an F.
Yes.
Okay.
Many
I mean,
resources.
your name's Tony. I mean, they can
No,
say
no, no,
that.
they don't wanna say that,
They
no.
can say
That's
that.
gross.
Many exactly. It's
Gross. Gross is a 4-letter
5-letter word.
That's a 5. That's a 5.
Yeah,
It's
that's
2
a 5.
S's.
Is it?
Yeah.
That might
Oh.
actually be
DeeLow,
today's.
not now.
That might actually be
educate
today's
DeeLow today.
Wordle.
I was. I guess I was
Hey, no
referring to
spoilers.
gross.
That just means big in German.
Nice
And big
cover.
is only 3 letters, so already a total loss.
So what is
Hanks is
self-care
4.
exactly?
So again, many resources recommend the following types of self-care. Physical. Find an exercise program. Try to stick with it
Screw
if you
that.
can. It could be yoga. Could be jogging, which I guess is pronounced with a soft J.
Jogging.
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 I mean, I guess you just
Sounds
run.
very German.
Yogging?
I guess-
Jogging? No,
Yogging?
that's not right.
Biking, walking regularly. You may also want to find
Do you want to
someone.
walk irregularly?
Well,
Every other Tuesday.
every other poops
That's not
day.
going to get you anywhere. Oh. I thought that was my headphones.
I was so
I
confused.
do need to get back to the biking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I used to bike quite a bit, like
yeah,
at least
actually.
twice a week.
You want to join me for my 30-miler?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah, y'all are gonna have to wait for me to get up to that point.
So, Tony, basically what you're saying
Yes.
is
Yes, internet.
Stop it. Get some help.
This
The internet knows all.
yeah.
Just sum it up.
You might want to find
Sum it
someone.
up.
Just sum it up, Internet.
And
I
you
said basically, by the way, so take a drink.
Take a drink. All right.
Does
And-
that
I'm
count?
out of
do
drink.
you get
does.
to do that?
Yes.
I thought it was just him.
The internet can
I
tell us
like
to take
him
a drink
already
too.
starting to feel this beer. So I mean,
And now I'm out.
for those playing at home, I'm drinking Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
I'm also drinking Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy.
You just
that was,
polished.
by the way, that was Michael Jordan.
Yes, that was Michael Jordan.
That was his,
Everybody knows
PSA.
that.
I'm gonna grab
Everybody
another,
knows.
Wait, you didn't know the
I'm grabbing
great-
another
It's
IPA.
such
Do
a
you want
famous
another one?
meme.
Could you grab me
Yeah, I'll get
same
it.
thing,
It's
please?
such a famous meme of Michael Jordan
Thank you.
stopping and just saying, "Stop it, get some
Get
help."
some help.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Number 2, try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Some might not be able to do this based on factors like if you have a cat like mine, then just maximize the sleep wherever you can.
Throw the cat outside, fixes the problem.
It's amazing what sleep can do. It's like restarting your computer. Social. Are you finding time to engage with your friends and or family? Sometimes a hangout does help, even if you don't feel that you need or deserve one. A friend or family member can give you the boost or energy that you need. Number 2, nurture relationships.
Wait, go back to social.
Thank you. I am on social still.
Because my thing is the social aspect,
Yeah.
especially when you are like a single guy.
Lots of bar time.
Well, I will
expensive.
say that's the one thing that I've definitely been like. Remember, because there was an episode where I had the whole.
Still working.
I don't know. We were talking about moods, and I just couldn't get out of a funk for a while.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I remember that.
I think that's a lot of what I was suffering from. That combined with the freaking weather.
Not
'Cause
feeling
I
social, you
will
mean?
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stress
and
in
a
your
lot of
job,
it-
too.
Yeah, but a lot of it's pandemic like related, and I hate blaming it
know.
on that.
Yeah.
I
But
have
it's something that
found,
we've never
I have found
experienced
right
before in our
now
life.
I am still having a hard time getting myself to go do things and go out and hang out with
Yeah.
people. I don't do it like I used to. And I feel like that's one of those things that I need to tend to, and I can't figure out how to get myself out of it because most of the people in my life don't really want to go hang out right now. It's weird.
All right, I'm going to challenge you then.
Okay.
Probably not next Saturday because I think my calendar is booked on next Saturday. But the Saturday after that, there's a place downtown
Downtown.
that usually
That was
does some live music. Let's do that.
Makes you want to hear
So you're
about
gonna go
it.
concert.
Well,
You're gonna go hang out.
not
watch
necessarily at a
some
concert,
Caesars.
but it's just like a local place that does live music. And
I
we'll
know
go
this
there.
local place.
Yeah, I know you know this local place. Everybody knows this local
know
place.
this
Even
local
the
place.
internet knows this local place.
Is there a good band playing?
I didn't even hear what you
It doesn't
said.
even matter if there's a
got
good
great
band playing.
nachos.
They do have great nachos.
I know.
I didn't even hear what you said.
I'm all about
Well,
nachos.
that's because he
It doesn't
mouthed it.
matter.
So finish
So
your
yes,
You are a freaking lip reader like the rest of us in the room.
Oh, I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just-
internet.
internet. I
Listen,
said
I
the
can-
internet knew all. How dare you?
I can read lips pretty well.
Get some help.
All right. All right.
Salubrious.
Number 2,
So-
nurture relationships. Remember, friends and family will be there. It's also good to nurture these relationships, and I've lost some friends over the recent years because I was withdrawing from engaging.
Epic fail.
It was. Mental. Be mindful of negative self-talk.
You are definitely one of the people that are guilty
Should I
of
hold
that.
up a mirror when you say that?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you, so you're saying you're a negative talker too? Like you
Self-talk?
do negative?
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
really? Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying to hold up a mirror to me.
You-
No, to
because,
myself.
Oh, well then,
A
yeah.
mirror to
I think
myself.
everybody does to
I
an
mean,
extent.
yeah.
I know you to a degree, and
Yeah.
you don't typically
Hide it well.
We do,
All
no,
right.
you know, I take it back. You and
You
I
know.
haven't gotten in a lot of in-depth conversations.
Today
Aside
is the
from
first
here
one.
on the podcast, I think that's the most in-depth we've gotten.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
No, I would say that's true. Yeah.
Outside of that, it's usually you looking at me going, "How's your beer?"
Oh, I do try and have conversations with you. That's not fair.
It's really in depth.
I
I
t-
have some floral notes here at the end of this, but it's
I
really
volley back with
lemony up front.
as good as your seltzer.
Right?
So yeah, we're good.
It's good.
It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So yeah, I
But-
do a lot of negative self-talk.
I just don't picture you as that.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
and Tony and I have known each other for so long that I just know he kind of does that sometimes.
I think when you live with somebody, it like
Yes.
all of that stuff,
and that was yeah.
you can't
see.
can't hide
you
it.
can't unsee.
You can't.
No.
Right. It just, but also too, it gives you another layer of, your friendship, you know, someone
Yeah.
at a different level.
Yeah.
You can probably sense when something is happening before,
Your
and nothing
spidey
even needs
senses
to be,
tingle.
said.
Sure.
You
Agreed.
just know. So that's just a deepening of a friendship and a relationship. But I think, I do that, and I know that, like my husband is well aware. That's one of my biggest problems is a lot of negative self-talk. So, yeah.
And it's not easy to immediately stop or be 100% positive all the time.
Goes back to meditation. Just saying.
Well, instead, I even in respect to that, I would say just try and find a non-negative way to assess your situation. So instead of saying, I always fuck this up and this is why I can't have nice things.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of saying that, say, well, that didn't work. If I tried another way, it may come out differently.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
is not saying that things will be rosy in the end. It is saying that there is a different outcome, which is non-negative. And I think that's a huge key, at least for me. That's what worked for me. And I talked with my therapist about that, and she said, I've never heard of that before, and I like that. And so it was something that she had never, well,
I'd
I
never
think
heard
she,
of that.
I
I'm
think
like, she's a therapist. She should have heard of it.
well, I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever come out with the phrase a non-negative. You know what I'm saying? Like as opposed to just
being positive.
exactly,
Right,
exactly.
right.
So it's not black and white. And maybe she's saying that to me like I've never heard that before, as in just trying to be supportive. I don't know, but that's not
Just being nice to you.
that's not for me to find out.
No, but it's,
I mean,
Yeah, that could be. You know.
It-
Trying to make you
it's
feel
a
smart.
I
different-
am paying for
there
this.
are times when a lie is good, and if the therapist
trying to
was
make you feel
lying
better.
about her not ever hearing it,
Right.
it was good.
It was
That's
good.
a good idea. Yeah,
It's good.
job.
She's like,
It's good.
Tony, way to go.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
you were gonna say?
No, I was just going to say, so as part of your journey
Yeah.
and your conversation, and you're trying to solve these, the way you're trapped in your thinking.
Yeah.
Because it is a trap.
It's trained.
Wow.
It's well
You
trained.
didn't need to.
Sorry,
Wait,
it's taking me for
we're having a sidebar
Okay.
conversation.
Happens all the time.
Wow. You guys owe each other a Coke, I think. So,
What the fuck?
Wow.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
Whoa.
wow.
Okay.
So this isn't saying
Scooby-Doo?
things will be rosy in the end, but it is saying that there is a different outcome which is non-negative. And that's kind of a first step to not traveling down the same road or same path as same thought pattern. Number 2, learn to say no. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. It helps create personal boundaries and allows you to seek your own space. And if you want to do your own thing, do so. Family and friends will be there when you get back to your comfort zone. DeeLow,
Do you feel like you may have
exercised it?
I know you've exercised it. I've watched you do it over the past year.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're still gauged to the point where it's accommodating to yourself, but still aren't pushing it too far?
Can you explain a little further? I'm
No.
sorry. I guess I'm not
No,
quite
I
picking
can't.
that. Oh,
So you're,
well, can you give me a just give me a
'cause
situation? I have a feeling there's one in your head.
I don't have a situation in my head.
I'm thinking he's thinking like you're accommodating to
Accommodate yourself.
to a percentage, but you're not really shifting the dial to full no yet.
Because you should know. Well, you should know that I'm okay with saying no. I have no fucking problem with saying no. If I don't want to do something, I will
get
say
that
no.
impression.
But that's but that's the boundaries, and that's you've
It's-
exercised
But
it,
I
and you're
think that's
comfortable
also
with that.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I
and that's
think
good.
that's awesome about people
Yeah.
that can just be like nope.
I'll
Like
drink to
I do not,
And not
but-
have
but-
any like don't feel bad about the way I'm saying no.
but
It's
you-
just no.
You have to understand. For
And
me,
it's like,
that was a
all
journey
right.
too. That was
Yeah.
also that thing where I used to be more. Okay, you're asking me.
Okay, I
this,
can
I'll
tell
do
you
it,
as a
I'll do it.
woman,
Yeah.
that is way harder. As a
Well,
woman,
because
that
when a
is
woman says no,
way
she means
harder.
yes. Everybody knows
No,
that.
that's not what I'm saying.
Not the women
My-
I've hung out with,
Epic
but okay.
fail. I know.
And I agree. I don't know if it's my Midwest.
thank
I don't
you.
know if
All
it's
right.
my age.
I don't know if that went to me or not, but
Went to both of us. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
because yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's the Midwest in me. I don't know if it's
Could
my
be.
age. I don't know if it was the way I was raised, but I feel like I must accommodate. I must help. I must, you have the best of things. I'll have what's left. Maybe.
Wow.
I do that at dinner. I do that at dinner time all the time until my kids finally told me, stop doing that. Just eat food.
Based on what I know about
And there was
your
like-
family,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a family thing.
I would
Probably.
say it's probably a learned thing.
Yeah, probably.
As
Yeah.
growing up, you probably decided to take. You probably just said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that the comfort of others comes first before myself,
Which is
and-
okay to a point.
But
But
that's
when you
being
start-
a people
Point.
pleaser, and that's not healthy.
And that's
Right.
not healthy. And
Right.
then I start getting resentful
right.
Yes,
of everybody.
understand.
Yeah.
You get resentful
Right.
of everybody,
Of
not of
everybody.
yourself, but
Yeah.
everybody
That-
else.
that
Because
also-
And it's not their fault. It's mine.
exactly.
For me specifically, that goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's a thing I had to unlearn.
Yeah.
So I used to be that way.
Yeah.
I have no problem with saying no now, but I'm also great like when I can say yes and when I can help out. That actually lifts up my spirits quite a bit. So that's still a good thing.
But knowing your boundaries is just really healthy.
Yes.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
So you're working on that.
Working on that.
That's great.
Yep.
That is great because
And
you
actually-
acknowledge it.
But
It's
that's
great
the
because
thing
you
is-
acknowledge it.
But
That's a good step.
I've known you long enough that I know that you've actually made that effort, and I can see where you've made that effort. I think
Still a work in progress.
going back to it is just also that other thing where, for me, I've learned to say no, but I also remember that it's okay to say yes, and there's certain scenarios where I want to.
Yeah.
And that's where I was asking him, did you figure out that balance?
Sure. Okay. Sounds like it's a WIP.
Whip?
Work in progress.
Whoop.
Work in progress. Tony got it.
Yeah. So learn to say no.
You kids and your fun little
Acronyms? It's called an
acronyms,
acronym.
yeah, whatever.
I believe it's pronounced
I
acronyms.
am now 2 Voodoo Rangers.
Two
Go.
voodoo-
Move on.
All right. Seek professional.
Stop doing that.
Seek a professional. This may not be available to everybody, but there are reduced cost and subsidized resources
Did you
available.
say number 2
He's
again?
toasting me, so I keep drinking.
Number 3.
Okay, I was gonna say, so you've been
Did I
on
say
number 2.
3? I
You've
meant
been
number
on
2.
number 2 the entire time.
Gonna
That's number-
drink it anyway.
Well, believe me, this whole podcast is number 2. Number 4.
Stop.
I'll drink to that.
Hey, you're a part of it. Take medication.
It says drinking Mountain Dew, so he's
Yeah.
going to be like just.
Bouncing off the walls. I'm
Yeah.
bouncing off the
Great.
walls
Anyway.
again.
Caffeine
Whoa.
doesn't affect me that much.
Bring it back.
So
Take-
number 3?
Number 3.
we
Seek
go.
a professional. It might not be available to everybody. There are
Seek a professional
seek
what?
a professional.
Therapist.
Therapist,
thanks for
help,
clarifying.
resource, doctor, whatever. Professional
Or-
nut job like
Well-
us.
Professional hooker.
Seek a professional.
Whatever.
That's what he said.
You know, if you can get Medicare to pay for
5-inch stilettos or with prescriptions? What are you talking about?
I mean, that is a stress reliever.
I'm just asking.
I'm just saying.
He
It's
said
a
seek
stress reliever.
professional. Okay.
Number
Stop it.
4, take medication. And I will say, personally, I'm very afraid of it. I'm very afraid of medication.
Like the side effects?
The side effects, being hooked on something that they could change later on. Maybe the company stops manufacturing it and you have to change. Or maybe your insurance company says, we will not cover this anymore and go with a different version.
I'm curious.
Yes.
Okay, so.
DeeLow's got his hand up.
I
I think
He's
this will be
raising
the
his
first.
hand. It's so funny.
This
This
might
is-
actually be
this
the
is-
first
You got it from
episode
me.
that we do not have a commercial break.
This is a hard. Like I don't even know how to explain this. Okay, so you guys know I've been married.
Yes.
So
Dun, dun.
it was a very short marriage, and she had anti-anxiety pills that she took.
Okay.
Everything flip-flopped when she switched prescriptions.
Oh, so you know this firsthand.
It was weird and just
I feel bad for both of you.
it
Yeah.
was
Like,
weird.
really and truly.
I think it was meant for divorce no matter what,
Okay.
Bound to fail.
but
Bum, bum,
it was just this weird thing where I
You didn't
think
know
it
who you were
pushed it
getting.
quicker. Well, no, I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like a Jekyll and Hyde situation?
Oh,
that
it
is
was very
so-
Jekyll and Hyde.
That is so sad. Like
The internet
to-
knows all.
It's very sad
Going
to
back to the
hear
music.
that, you know, like you as the observer know who this person is without all of those things, or at least you knew.
I thought I knew.
Okay.
Because here's the
Okay.
thing. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. Did I truly know her? Because she was already on meds.
Okay, that was going to be my question. Were there already meds involved?
And I don't know.
And then somewhere along the way, the meds had changed, and so then therefore some of the effects had changed personality
Right.
or
Yes.
yeah.
So I,
That sounds traumatic
to
for
some
both of
degree,
you.
definitely agree with you on that. But I
That's
will
what-
also say
That's what I'm mostly afraid
that
of.
without her meds, she was a different person because there was a point where she stopped
Right.
and then she found a new one.
So you saw her
Without
non-medicated.
I saw her medicated, unmedicated, and then remedicated. The remedicated is where things went awry.
Oh.
Okay.
The unmedicated is where it was difficult, but
Tolerable.
I don't
Not,
want to
not
say
even tolerable, but it was
Um,
acceptable. Or
I
something
could
you both
accommodate.
could-
I
okay.
could accommodate. She could accommodate. We figured out a middle ground.
Sure.
But then there was a point where the anxiety got to be too much again, and so she got to a new prescription, and then that's when things just went.
Is that anxiety on her part or your part or
Her
both?
part. Her part. Me.
So you didn't
You
sense
know
any
me well
anxiety
enough.
on
I
that.
don't really.
I think
it's
he's
just not
like
thing
a
for me.
he's like a calm lake, and this person just was having
A lot
like
of waves.
Well,
when
they
I
couldn't
when I
call-
first met her, she
they-
was on the medication, so she was very much like me. She was just
Okay.
very
yeah. But-
always in the middle of the ground. Like
So
she
there-
wasn't too high, too low.
So
ever.
there really needs to be some truth in advertising. Here's what you're saying.
It eventually wasn't working for her.
Yeah.
So she switched off.
Okay.
And then she switched back on, but she switched back on to a different medication. And that's when things went weird.
Did you know that she was medicated when you first met her?
Not when we started dating.
Okay.
Once we started dating for a little while, I knew that.
That's what I meant by truth in advertising.
Yeah.
It's just because if you are medicated and you don't tell anybody that, if you don't tell the person that you're with that,
That's a wrong thing to do.
Yeah, that's a red
I don't
flag.
think you enter into marriage not knowing that.
Well,
That
there are a lot of
seems-
things that people hide because they're afraid of it, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, you get in with, especially if you get in with the wrong
Sorry, I went
person.
very
It's just the
quiet.
way it is.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a little
Oh,
bit
you're
of
fine.
research on stuff.
Well,
Oh, you're here?
Sometimes the
Yeah.
internet goes
Oh,
down.
I thought the internet
Sometimes
was.
the internet
I
goes
was
down.
just trying to do a little bit of
Homework.
research on the like antidepressants,
Oh,
if they're
yeah.
like their own category or not, if they fall under another thing. Like anti-anxiety meds are depressants, but anti-depression meds are like
Uppers. Kind of.
What
well,
does
like
it say?
they're their own category.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I was trying to figure out if they were like depressants, whatever ones are the stimulants.
Health,
Stuff
health
like
issue,
that.
like mental health is a big thing with your generation, isn't it?
Huge.
Very much.
Should
It-
be
it
with
is-
everybody's.
It's the profession. It's the
And
stuff I
I-
want to
I
do when I'm
agree.
older.
Which is
But-
funny because when I went to school, when I originally went into college,
I cracked my back.
oh,
Sorry.
congratulations. One of the first things I wanted to do was go into psychology. I went into radio and audio instead. That was a sidebar because it was easier. After that, I decided I wanted to go into psychology, which I should have, knowing how big of a thing that it really is now.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah.
It is, and it's not because of the money.
It
It's
wasn't
actually
then. It wasn't then, though.
it wasn't then. It is now, and it's not because of the money. It's not because of anything else. It's just because how important it is.
Yeah.
Society has decided that it's important finally.
It's finally
Yeah.
important.
I mean, that's what it's
It's true.
always been important.
I dated 3 psychology majors and realized that every person going into psychology
Psychology
is
was-
kind of nuts.
Now let me ask you this
True dat,
sidebar
true dat,
conversation.
true dat.
Do you think that people who go into psychology or become psychiatrists or psychologists are also trying to figure themselves out as well?
I not only
Don't look at me.
I think it's a deflection.
Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
could you
that's
give
what
me
I
a-
meant to say.
Leave me out of
I
this.
need a ding. I need a ding.
ding.
yeah, where the
Can you give
dings
it?
at?
All right.
Could you say that again?
All right.
Just
Okay.
Stop.
summarize.
So
This is going well.
I
the internet
agree.
the
I
internet knows
agree.
all. So okay, people
I
who
agree.
are people
I
who-
agree.
yeah, I'll try and say that again. People who go into psychology or psychiatry are actually attempting to figure something else out in their own life.
The one
Jesus
time.
Christ.
And
We're waiting for you.
he was all over it before.
Oh, man.
How much are we paying him?
Not-
It's too much.
Well, I
Not enough.
paid him
Paying
in,
not enough.
You're paying.
paid him in
He's
Monster.
being paid in Mountain Dew.
I agree with you. I agree with you, and I believe
To
that
an
most,
extent, I'm not saying that
not every
everybody
single
is
person,
right.
but I do
there
believe
may be
I
some
do
out there.
believe that there's a curiosity in their own mind.
Yeah.
Is a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
they're like, why do I do this? Why do I think this
Sure.
way? Why do I? Which we all have to a degree, but these are people who really find something inside themselves where they're like, I need to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question because I was talking with a friend last night and we were talking about everybody should probably be seeing somebody.
Some sort of
therapist
or
some
whatever.
sort of therapist or therapy or something, just because there's a lot of shit going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he said something about that the therapists are supposed to also have therapy.
Yes,
Is that
therapists,
right?
Yes,
They should.
Like they are
Therapists have
required?
therapists. I don't know if
Because
they're required.
that's a lot to carry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't even
From
imagine.
personal experience of having people tell you things, that's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
Therapists should definitely have other therapists.
My therapist has a therapist, and the woman that I was playing earlier, Katie Morton, she has a therapist as well.
God, therapy hole.
I mean, it's true though.
Who's the
But
person at the top?
I
there's
can't even imagine what that must be like.
Dom DeLuise.
I don't want to, especially
Google
for people that work with like police or oh my
I'm
gosh,
sure that they
victims
see
of
a lot.
EMS,
Yeah.
fire,
Oh, yeah.
anything in
Yeah.
the first
the
responder area.
healthcare
Oh my God.
field or
EMTs
That's-
definitely needs
Yeah, they see a lot of
Therapy.
shit. Holy cow.
yeah.
car crashes.
Well, I think about police. Yeah, criminal.
That's a great point. Yeah, criminal justice
Yeah,
people are like
criminal
people in
justice
that whole line
people
of
that deal with
first
the,
responders. Yeah,
victims and of all
People
kinds
that
of
deal
things.
with a lot of
people who are
trauma
like in
on a
jail
daily
and prisons
basis.
for that. Yeah,
yeah, people
trauma.
that deal with like physical, mental trauma and stuff like that on a daily basis
Yeah.
they definitely need help.
Yeah, Sarah, I think you're definitely onto something there. Absolutely, that's a great point to raise.
Okay.
I have a weird bump on my middle finger.
I was like, why are you looking
Oh
at
my
me
God.
rubbing your finger?
Right
What
here,
happened?
Right here. I don't know. There's a weird
Do you
bump.
want to see a doctor about that?
Ooh.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, that's gross.
I'm not gonna touch that.
No. Put some ice on that. Leave me alone.
No, there's
What'd you
nothing there. You
do?
can touch it.
No.
Is it a bug bite?
Put some ice on that.
No,
Some ice. He gives him a Mountain
touch
Dew.
my finger.
No.
Touch my finger.
I'm gonna,
Nothing.
give me your finger. Give me your finger.
Do you feel it?
Oh God,
Wait,
yes.
wait.
Do you feel it? Right
So
there?
good.
Do you feel it?
Yeah, I do.
What the fuck is that?
It's a cyst.
Great. Now I need to go see some therapist. All right, go on. Sorry.
It could be a wart, and we could have it on our hands now. Thanks, DeeLow.
Yeah.
It was just. I didn't really mean ew. I did it for the effects, but
No, really.
Whatever.
It is.
Whatever.
No, I think it's just a cyst.
you just
You're fine.
noticed it now
Yeah.
on the podcast.
So take medication. And now,
If you need it.
if it's prescribed.
Of course, you don't just want to steal it.
But so like
Do the
It's
research.
if you were
it's
offered,
similar.
would you see that as a resource or not?
Here's why I say I would probably do it, because it is similar to taking vitamins or having other medications for deficiencies. Think about that. Insulin, people who can't produce it.
I'm on a medication.
There you go.
Not for that.
no,
but
not for that, but
Right, for other health.
right.
Keeps
Sometimes
you,
your body
keeps
just
things operating like they're supposed
Yes,
to be. Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Sometimes your body just can't manufacture it.
Actually,
Whatever the
mine
thing is.
subdues my operation, but
Okay, well then there you go.
Post
Whatever
or
whatever the
pre?
function is, you need it to
I'm just
be
gonna let you
functioning.
guys know I'm gonna be drunk by the end of this episode.
Yay!
So
And we'll put you in your car and let you drive home.
Yay!
I'm just kidding.
All right. This,
Would you like a water,
That's
sir?
a good dark turn.
not
Would you
yet.
like a water?
Not yet. I'm not there yet.
excuse me.
We'll get him full of chips soon.
A side note:
Okay.
we do have a friend of
So,
the
like we haven't had any side notes.
we do have a friend of the
Too
podcast
many.
who told me that they began seeing a therapist and then started taking medication because of a discussion between that person and myself long ago, and their life has been getting better since. So I appreciate
That's
the fact
good.
that this person told me face to face, like they said thank you.
Hey, you
for
helped me.
doing that. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And
That's
who knew?
awesome.
Who knew?
You never know.
Number 5, find time to engage in your own activities. Gardening, playing music.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Thank God.
Learning about stocks. I mean, it's anything that is of interest. Reading, even rearranging furniture in your living space.
Reading Donald
Oh,
Trump's
It can be
tweets.
a refreshing activity.
I will say that I find this is so weird, but I find housework to be therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love just having a day where I clean my house.
You should just talk to my husband. He loves it.
Like he loves cleaning
He
house.
loves it.
He loves it.
It helps you to. It gives you a moment where you feel like
He loves
if you.
throwing shit away, clearing out
Oh, yeah,
clutter.
yeah,
It
yeah.
makes him like the
It-
happiest.
It makes you feel like things are organized for a moment.
yes.
That's all it is. It's just I can organize something.
And
Yes.
that goes into my next spiritual, speaking of rearranging furniture, is feng shui. Is what
Which
they
I have
call
not
that.
tried. I have not
Feng
tried that.
shui.
Feng shui, all of you. That may brighten your mood. Things like changing furniture placement, decluttering, decorating windows with different color shades, adding plants.
Plants
Anything like that can help.
to kill. Sorry.
Yeah. You do
We
a
know
good
I
job
brown
of that.
thumbs.
Feed
Anyway.
me, Seymour.
I have not tried plants yet, and I need to try that.
I think you would love plants.
I have some
Well,
plants.
this is the first time in my life I don't have a cat or a dog or
You
anything
would-
around in my life.
I could totally
so-
see him loving plants.
Yeah, actually, you probably could.
I should probably try
Get
it.
like
You probably
20
enjoy it.
succulents.
Succulents?
Succubus.
Succulents are
Not
so
no.
cute.
No. Get like 20
I'm glad the internet knows what I'm
Succubus?
talking about.
Oh, I know. I'm down with that.
All right, fine.
All right,
Are
anyway.
you really?
So
Not for him.
I would.
Also,
More on the list?
So that's part of the spiritual items. Another spiritual item, as we talked about, engaging in medication. Calming the millions
You say
of thoughts in your head and focusing on breathing can help focus on being still.
It goes back to meditation.
Am I crazy or did
That's
you say
what
medication?
I just said, engage on meditation.
I swear to God, you said medication.
I said meditation.
I heard I heard
heard
the same. I heard
medication.
the same. It's on record, so whatever.
Yeah, I guess we'll just check that
going.
later.
We'll just keep
We'll
going
check
now.
that later. Yes, engaging in meditation. Let's make sure I get that right.
Meditation.
Calming the millions of thoughts in your head and focusing on breathing can help focus on being still. This can also be a useful tool in the future for when you're feeling overwhelmed. You'll know how to better calm or control your emotions.
You said tool.
Oh my God. Wow.
Giggity.
Damn.
Speaking of emotions, emotional ways, take a moment to sit still with your emotional state. It may be very uncomfortable, and you may want to brush it aside and try to avoid it, but it doesn't allow you to process your emotion. So sit with it, as much as it sucks.
Sit with it. Allow it to pass through. That's
Yes.
the other thing that's key.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Find
Oh.
things to recharge you. It doesn't mean that the first thing you find is supposed to immediately recharge your mood. In fact, it's going to be trial and error until you find activities that are meaningful to you and help keep your stress level low.
I acquiesce.
I find that those things can change over your lifetime too. Like they change over time.
Oh,
like
yeah.
your interests change, your
Demeanor changes, your
Everything
idea of
changes,
things
your
that
idea
are
of things.
important. Right.
and I'm really good at talking myself out of trying to do things. Like I'm really good at like, no, I
Yeah.
can't do that because of this.
And that might be a
no, I
comfort
can't
issue.
do that because of that. I think it actually has to do. It could be a comfort thing, but it could also just be it's just a negative talk.
Self-esteem.
It's a
Not
it's a
self-esteem, but,
it's put that there. Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah, it's a confidence.
My therapist and I have talked about that like ad nauseum. And the funny part is she was always saying like, well, you just need to build up your confidence. And it's kind of like, I always thought,
Okay,
that,
I don't like that statement right there. You just need to build up your confidence.
Right.
Do you know how loaded of a statement that is to
It's-
say to somebody
it's
that
like-
doesn't have confidence?
I'm assuming this was paraphrased.
nope.
Okay.
And
parasail.
Fair enough.
And it reminds me, and I actually said this to her. I said, it reminds me of the phrase, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Oof.
Yeah. And so she took that.
She took that beating.
She took that beating. No, but anyway.
But it's that's a lot to ask for someone that
It is.
can't
But
do
that was
that.
right. A person who's not ready
They're
to
not
do
ready
that.
to do that, right? Or see
or just
that,
doesn't
yeah.
understand how to get
How
there.
to get there, yeah.
But the thing is, again, the depression was just was the end result of all these other things along the way. And so now we're trying to find a way to cope with those elements that got you to depression, that got me to depression for that matter. But anyway, sorry, that was a really long yet quick
It's fine. It's
dive.
fine. It's the one thing I wanted to ask as you were talking into that. Do you, for those that don't know, Tony is a drummer.
Excuse me.
Tony is a drummer, and
I do
you
that time to
always
time.
seem very comfortable up on stage. Do you not find that that's a point where you're confident?
It's kind of like one of those things where you've just done it so many times that it's
Natural.
yes, yeah, it's autopilot, and so it doesn't really matter.
So it's not
I'm not saying it matters.
It's not a matter of confidence in that scenario.
Right. I'm not. Yeah. It's not that it doesn't matter. It does matter, but
I was curious because you seem
too.
very confident on stage.
it's just an autopilot thing. You just turn on the switch and there you go. You don't think about it. You just do it, and then you come back to real life after you're done.
So do you find so maybe not being on stage, but like let's say in your own space, jamming out with friends, just enjoying the process of it, is that something where you find like a lot more joy than just like I'm on stage, I'm performing, I've got to do this song and this song and this song, because that is more autopilot versus like enjoying something that's
Yeah.
a little more organic in a space with friends and just
Letting
letting it flow.
I would actually say that doing the stage thing is a bit more enjoyable because it's actually in front of people who are enjoying themselves. That's the whole point of it. So if what I'm doing is giving them joy, that comes back to me. But that's also an external, and this is something else too that I didn't write in my notes. That's an external response, an external self-worth.
Okay.
And the thing is, like I've had to realize that self-worth doesn't come from the external. It has to come
Right.
from within.
Right.
And the thing is, like all this time, if I make people happy, I'm happy. Well, what does that mean? That means that I can't be happy unless somebody else is.
Right.
Therefore, what
fulfilling
makes
you?
me happy doesn't fucking matter to me. The only person that needs to be happy.
You can't base your happiness on other people.
Exactly.
Right. Other people can't
Well
fill
done,
your,
Internet.
Can't fill you. You have to find a way
Clear,
to fill
concise,
yourself. Got it. Okay.
Finalized answer.
I can agree with that.
So that was a quick dive into mental health. And,
Might have
and,
been
and
paying
one
attention.
note to remember.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We are not professionals, and this was researched very quickly. Like I said, it was about 2 hours that I just kind of perused through a bunch of stuff here, and it also contains personal anecdotes from all of us. There's probably a lot we've missed, and this
Oh,
is by
there's so much more I
no
could
means
say.
an exhaustive
Oh, God,
or
we could
even
go on
medium dive into mental health. We haven't even scratched the surface.
No.
But the segment was
created.
created as a result of my personal situation anyway, and hopefully growth. And I want to share any of it with you in hopes that if you're going through tough times, which may seem to last forever, remember that there is a better day ahead.
Yes.
Oh, you see what I did there? Yeah, there is.
I was ready to get into that.
There is a better day ahead. Now,
There you go.
Salubrious.
now that we've officially killed this pace of the show, let's. Do we even have time to take a break? We're already well above.
Oh, we are way past what we
You know what?
normally do.
You do what you want. You got the board.
I'd say go ahead and just do the break.
Let's do a break.
All right.
Oh my god!
I got to pee anyway.
Okay,
too.
let's do a break. We'll do 10 more minutes.
All right.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back with fun stuff. That's what we do here at the podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Salubrious.
Reinvigorate.
Salubrious.
An hour of sad stuff and 10 minutes of happy stuff.
Salubrious.
Thank you, Internet.
Salubrious.
He's not rolling. The Internet never lies. That's
when I
a
do.
lie.
Just slam that down a little harder.
More.
No, I was kidding.
Would you like a
The
coaster?
pop's gonna fly out of that.
I wanted to go through the damn table.
Jesus Christ,
Latter-day Saints.
Mr.
Poopy Pants.
Mrs.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of There Is a Better Podcast. Let's lift up
The atmosphere.
yeah, just a little bit. We kind of got heavy. If you happen to stick around for
but
this
I
half
enjoyed
here-
it. I'm just gonna let you know I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a good conversation.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Me
It
too.
was good conversation. If you're gonna call me Mr. Anything, call me Mr. Pickles Cage.
Pickles Cage. What was the other one?
Bananakin Skywalker.
Salubrious.
Is that a word?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
It is a word. It's health-giving or healthy.
Oh.
Or
Okay.
pleasant and not run down. It's
Welcome back
salubrious.
to the second half of There Is a Better Podcast. Oh, DeeLow.
Yes.
From the glitz and glamour of Hollywood to the local theater company in your hood, There Is a Better Podcast is proud to present their opinion, whether you want it or not, in another edition of
Are you not entertained?
All right, for Are You Not Entertained? I feel like I'm kind of cheating here a little bit just because Sarah already did this one.
What?
What?
For those not in the room. I said that, and there was this weird pause with big eyes. Where she comes back with, what?
Me?
Oh.
I did?
Kids in the Hall.
Good shit.
Kids in the Hall. It was
Very
on
good
Amazon.
shit. Absolutely.
I have got to say, through and through, she was completely right on every aspect.
Nailed it.
What
Not that
episode
show.
was that? Do you
3.
remember? It was what?
Episode 3.
Episode 3?
Episode 3 of
Of
the
There Is a
It's in
Better
the
of the new
Podcast?
season.
Really?
Number 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant of their season.
Yeah, no, I was talking about your review.
Oh, our show.
Your review, yes. Our show, not their show.
Was that episode 55, I think?
All right, nonetheless, the whole penis warning thing, that was definitely
Oh, yeah. You kind of
Well,
want to watch out
warranted.
for
Warranted. Yes.
well put. Yeah, right off the bat with the whole penises, and the same with
Pork and beans?
the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Oh, the boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Sorry.
boys.
That's
'Cause
another word for pork and beans.
We didn't really dive into
So
that last
I-
week.
No.
Like,
and-
there is a penis warning.
Yeah, and watch your sneezing. That's all I can say.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know this I don't know this reference.
You
This is
really
fantastic.
I'll
need
stop
to
and let
watch
you-
it.
I need to watch the boys.
Yeah, you didn't. You need to.
I don't
So-
want to watch the boys having sex.
It's a
That's-
lot.
No,
it's
no,
a lot
no,
of.
no,
It's
no,
a lot
no.
of
That's,
violence.
that's just coming out wrong.
If you're wondering what episode it was, I think it was episode 51. That's
I
a lot of
where
meat.
we talked about.
Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the
Episode
Hall.
51. That's a lot of meat.
And then episode 54, I did give the
Thank you.
warning of the pork and beans ahead of the kids in the hall. So yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Can we revisit just like for a fraction of a
Whichever one you
second
want.
after I get done with this?
Sure.
The penis thing.
We sure can.
The penis thing.
Sure, as long as
Okay.
everybody's okay in the space with us spoiling it a little bit is what it sounds like it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Okay, go ahead.
Not particularly.
So get your kids
okay,
in the hall.
so Kids in the Hall. I was a huge fan back in the 90s. As we got to
Yes.
talking about
I
it,
fucking love that show.
I started to realize I did not remember a lot of the Kids in the Hall. It could be because I was stoned most of the time. Might not be. I don't know.
Sorry.
What I do know is I couldn't remember a lot of stuff. The very first episode of this new season, I was like, I'm really not into this. This is not working for me at all. So then I ate a Bruffin.
What is it?
Of course.
Bruffin.
Oh, okay. Good
A
job.
Breakfast muffin?
is a mix between a brownie, and a muffin. And yes, it is an edible.
Oh.
okay.
Now,
I like how you guys are going.
this is
oh,
after
you
the
didn't
first
expect
episode.
that.
But even then, in the second episode, I wasn't really quite
Yeah.
into it.
Did you eat another one?
Until they got to the imaginary girlfriend sketch.
Oh, wasn't that brilliant?
That was fucking hilarious.
Fabulous.
Have you
and
watched
not only
this?
that, wait, at the very
What
beginning of
episode is this
sketch-
again?
Second
is the
episode
second
of
episode.
Kids in the Hall.
So he
I have to
Were you
watch it
still
again.
awake at that point?
So Dave Foley shows up at the friend's door. He knocks on the door. It's 10 o'clock. He said, "I'm sorry to knock on your door at 2 a.m. drunk." And his friend says,
he says, no, he says 10 p.m. at first,
Right.
and then he sends him away
"Right, but
to
that's
go get drunk.
that was
and
the
come
whole
back,
thing.
Which that was hilarious in itself.
That was the whole thing. He knocked on the door first. He said, "I'm sorry to show up at your door at 2 a.m. drunk." And he's like, "It's 10 p.m. and you're
Oh, there you
sober."
go, there you go.
He
That's
goes,
right.
"I'll be right back."
Right. So he goes to get drunk.
Yes,
Remember
it
that.
Comes
comes
back,
back.
and then they start talking about his imaginary girlfriend.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is where all of
This
a
is
sudden
a
I was
great fucking skit.
like, this was
Yes.
what I remember of Kids in the Hall.
Yes, it's
This
The writing is
so-
funny.
still.
And
It's
then-
exactly what it was.
and
they
then-
haven't skipped a beat.
Yeah.
Step further, the whole Zoom sketch.
Oh, okay. You liked that one?
I am fucking dying laughing at the end of it.
I thought
They're
that's
all
what you were talking
freaking
about the other day.
masturbating.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Over Zoom.
Okay.
Like, well, we're not getting anything done in this meeting, so
episode 2, I'm like into this. I'm like, oh, this is pretty
and
Into
he
the
had
masturbation
he had
thing.
This
what
is
was it
pretty
called?
good.
A brandy,
Bruffin.
brownie, bruffin,
Bruffin.
Bruffin.
Buffigan.
It's a
Bruffin.
bruffin. So it's a mix between a muffin
Buffalo
and a bruffin.
Snuffleupagus.
Okay.
So
Flapjack.
I'm thinking, okay, I'm into this. And even if I hadn't, I still would have found this funny because I actually did watch this while I was not stoned. Then it got to episode 3. Dave Foley comes in with motor mouth in the morning, and this is reoccurring throughout the entire episode. The whole thing is so DeeLow that it's not even. I mean, they wrote this for me.
It's possible.
Anybody that knows me well enough knows I've been in radio. So to me, this was a tribute to old time radio. It was freaking awesome. It was brilliant. And you got it on hand?
Yeah, I do.
The,
Sorry.
the song. Okay, so
Although
Dave,
Tony's
Dave
got the other
Foley,
song going.
Dave Foley
That's
plays.
fine. You go ahead and play that.
To
I'll
explain
just
it, Dave
turn this
Foley
down.
plays the part of an apocalyptic DJ. And he has only 145 available that he can play, and it is this song, which could be one of the.
I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. I think the wish
Okay, so that is Melanie's brand new key from 1971. He's got 145, and not only that, but it's warped, it's skipped.
And the power source is about to run out in this bunker he's in.
So he plays
Oh,
the part of this guy called Motor Mouth in the morning. And I mean, his take on it for anybody who's into radio, especially like 70s and 80s radio, is so brilliant. I mean, he pins it down with the whole Motor Mouth in the morning.
It has the energy every time he gets on the mic, but when
Mouth in the morning.
when you're watching his face, it is doomsday. He's in a bunker. Everything is falling apart around him, and his face is of dread and sadness. And
Sounds like every day of the podcast.
it was it's epic. It's epic.
No!
His hair is unkempt looking. He has like a I don't want to say like a flannel, but he has like a shirt, and he's got like his band shirt underneath, so you can tell like he's really into like the DJing. I'm looking at DeeLow, and he's dressed very similar
to it. Yes, I agree. I got the flannel going on.
So wait a minute, you're Doomsday DJ today?
I
Doomsday
I think
DeeLow?
this is regular
Well,
attire.
And here's
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing.
No, I'm
is-
just
So he's
is
Doomsday DeeLow
you
every
didn't-
day.
You didn't watch it all the way to the end because you
So
fell
the thing
asleep,
is,
right?
I fell asleep like
Yeah.
toward the end of the second episode, and then I woke up right at the bitter end of the third episode when I saw the ending of that episode.
And you said that you had read things with Dave Foley where he's like, I don't get why people like feel so attached to it.
Yeah, I read an article where he was interviewed.
Go ahead.
He's basically saying like he knows why he thinks it's funny, but he's not sure why other people think it's funny. And even during when they were recording the sketch, because it actually is peppered throughout, the episode. It starts at the beginning. There's a piece of it, and then there's another piece of it that comes back in the middle, and then there's another piece of it at the end. So it's actually 3 parts that are peppered throughout the episode. But he said that even when they were filming it, he's thinking, I don't think this is going to work.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I'm just sitting here listening to music for too long.
It's brilliant.
And he really thought it was going to be a huge failure. And he really didn't think that the guys, the rest of the troupe, were going to be like, yeah, go with it. It's
All for
good.
it, yeah.
He thought it was going to be a failure.
First of all, his portrayal of that I can't call it a genre. That style of presentation from back in the 70s and 80s is brilliant.
It's like WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yes, he's spot on.
He brings that energy
with his imitation
every time.
and he does the whole. That's that one from 1971. That's Melanie. She's got a brand new
pair of roller skates.
And you've got a brand new key. I mean, he just hits it spot on. It is brilliant.
And the fact that this is his only 45 due to apparently some mutants had hijacked the rest of his collection of records, and all he was left with was this one 45. So every single time he plays it over and over, and he introduces it like he's never heard it just a moment ago.
Now, here's what's brilliant is the very last scene.
Maddening.
It was almost sentimental for me.
Yeah.
Because it was this thing where I've been in radio. I miss those old days of radio. And the younger generation
Seriously?
of...
You're going to be the old man shakes a fist at cloud?
No, I'm not shaking it. I'm
you
just saying.
got a fist toward him as it is.
He's pointing towards
the one young guy that's sitting in the room with us right now, he's never going to get to experience what it was. And maybe he doesn't need to. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it was brilliant, and it was a lot of fun back then.
It's something that we
You're
hold.
never going to get that vibe,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's a shame.
I just thought it was interesting.
Kind of like you'll never know rotary dial.
Oh,
so,
no, you
know.
don't miss that.
Oh, yeah.
You won't miss that.
Yeah, the long
I've tried.
cord, the
I've
trails
tried.
through the house, on the
911.
phone.
Seriously, why?
I've even tried using a rotary phone, and I can't figure it out. It's like a locker combination for to call somebody. It's so dumb.
56,
So
23,
Melanie was
18.
the song that was featured in
Seven.
that skit. It was Brand New Key. If you've never had the chance, check this out. Check this out at some point because this is the hard rock version. And that is from the, 90s? Was it 90s?
That I don't know.
I don't know.
It was the
That I
Dolly
don't know.
Rots. Dolly Rots redoes it. It's awesome.
So the way I thought it was really fun because the way he talks with the same level of enthusiasm for introducing the song, he's also talking about the post-apocalyptic things that are happening outside of the bunker.
Brilliant.
Which includes a DNA bomb. And now the
Yes.
Earth is overrun with mutants, and it's a melded horror and isolation of COVID.
And the
then,
freaking look on his face through the entire thing.
yeah, his face isn't completely dropped, but the way he delivers it is with a tone of that whole, hey, it's the DJ.
So
But
completely
somehow-
oblivious to everything that's going on outside,
Yeah,
except the
keeps his
fact that
face
he
solemn.
knows.
Even while he's saying it, he's like,
Yeah.
he does the whole, I'm trying to remember.
Kind of puke jock.
Motor mouth in the morning. But he, at the same time, he's got this look on his face like he is just dead.
He's ready for death.
He is done, yeah.
But
Motor
he's
mouth
still
in the morning.
But he still keeps that same intensity, the same
like a DJ delivery.
puke DJ.
Taking
Yeah.
you back
Puke
to
jock.
1971, October of 1971 on that one.
And remember, every time they come back, because it's a recurring clip, in the second clip, the power source is running lower.
Yes.
So the
And- and
record is
going
playing
slower.
slower.
Yes.
The lights are dimming
And you're
more.
seeing the look on his face
Now
get
that
more
makes sense.
desperate.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
he's-
entire time he's like, This is it. It's over. But
And
but he keeps on the job.
Yeah.
Through the entire freaking thing.
And he's on for hey, anybody that's out there,
Right.
like, is anybody gonna save me? Because I don't think so. This is the end.
So
Help me out, please.
Dave Foley, if you are listening, I very much doubt that you ever will hear this. But if you are listening, it was fucking brilliant, dude.
I was trying to censor.
Fucking brilliant.
I was trying to hit the censor bleep.
Cheers to Dave Foley.
Cheers to
kids
Dave
in the
Foley.
hall.
Cheers to
Dave Foley.
I would say all kids in the hall. Yes,
Yeah.
all the kids.
Can I
in the
drink
hall.
it?
Love them.
By the way, so last week,
By the way,
Pause.
Last week we tried some different flavored Pringles. We have a leftover from last week, and it is Scorchin' Chili and Lime. Now, the way that the ampersand is set up next to lime, I swear it was a letter S, so I wrote it as Chili Slime.
From over here, it looks like S.
Scorchin' Chili Slime. So this is, Scorchin' Chili and Lime.
Oh my God, you're right, yeah.
Isn't it, though? Yeah, okay, note to the Pringles people, if you're all also listening, or Dave Foley, if you want to pass this along to the Pringles people.
We know you have a brand deal. We know you have a brand deal.
Right, so here we go. We're going to open this.
I have a complaint about Pringles.
Is there slime inside?
Smells good. Smell that. Let's pass it around and smell it.
Can I talk about my complaint with Pringles?
Go ahead.
They
If you must.
did their mascot so dirty. He used to look like.
Oh yeah, because they flattened out his. They flattened out his features and stuff like that.
Chameleonaire and riding dirty.
He looked so much better before this.
Chameleonaire or chameleonaire?
I think it's
Did we have-
He looks terrible now. He used to have like a personality.
Yeah.
Now he's a corporate brand.
Well, aren't they all corporate brands? Aren't we a corporate brand too?
I feel like he's
Smells
got a,
pretty good.
I feel like he's got a smirk.
Smuckers?
Are you talking about the smirk?
Yeah, go ahead and take some while we're at it too. The smirk, the eyes, everything.
I'm trying to figure out why he's got a fart coming out of his
Yeah,
ear.
he looks
Although-
squinty.
It's
Oh, he's
supposed to
got
be like
flame
it's
on.
supposed to
Coming
be
out
like
of his ear.
He's got clouds.
He used
for
to
the
look like
flame
he
on.
had a
Because it's scorching.
personality.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Because
hot.
it's scorching.
He used to look like he had a personality. Like he owned a store. He was going to sell you stuff.
Oh, yeah. He's
He
a lot
used to
down.
look
In
so
this
much
one
cooler.
though, because it's a scorch, and I think that's a special one.
I
that
think
he's
so.
got
Yeah,
the eyes.
There was another one where he had like a
squinting because
headset.
he's got.
Do we have that can from last week?
He's got
no.
Not in the
think we
space.
threw it away.
steam coming
No,
out of
I
his
didn't throw
ears.
it away.
That's why.
They changed how he looked, and
They did
it's
change how he
so
looks.
terrible because now he
it
just
does,
looks.
it does kind of
awful.
smell good.
Okay.
It kind of has
These have a bright
Smells like
orange
chili and-
dusting.
chili slime.
it smells
chili
a lot like I'm in a
and
Mexican
lime.
restaurant.
All right, everybody, go
You
for
just
it.
going at it?
Dig in. Here we go, and tell us what you think.
You got you got some really
that's
seasoned
so much
ones
better.
there.
That's good.
Yeah, there's a
That's
lot of bright
actually-
orange
That's much better than the wavy.
dusting on here.
Yep, there's a lot going on in that one.
You got a lot going on too. Look at this.
I got one.
How did I get
It's
this?
good.
Okay, our dusting is totally disproportionate because DeeLow
Yeah, they didn't
stack
do a very
has
good-
hardly any,
Well, here
and
we
mine
go.
has like full coverage orange
Okay.
dusting.
This tastes very like.
It's actually really
Yeah,
good. It
I
doesn't
seriously
suck.
feel
Yeah,
like
the-
I'm in a Mexican restaurant right
The
now.
coverage,
I like it.
The coverage
Good.
of the dusting on Sarah's chip is like
It's
CNN's
dangerously
coverage of
red.
the CNN's coverage of the
What's
OJ
the
trial.
what's the gist of
Yeah.
this?
Mine's a
Dangerously
50-50 though. It's blank on one side and full on the other.
One is for your tongue. Like
Chili?
The blank side is for your tongue.
Chili and lime.
Oh, maybe this is the chili and this is the lime?
Could be.
Oh, that
You
could
want
make
to try another one?
Okay.
I mean, the tongue is still on fire.
Yeah,
I
same here.
sort of also have another brand that kind of
good?
ruined their logo. Look at this. This
It doesn't- we're not talking
I
about
know.
Smuckers.
I'm just. It's sad.
Internet knows all.
That's good.
Sometimes too much.
It's sad.
That's good.
So, we got a thumbs up from DeeLow.
Yeah.
We got a thumbs up from Sarah.
Yes.
We got a thumbs up
Thumbs
from
up.
the internet. I'm going to give it a thumbs up too. This one actually is really good.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
It
It
taste
actually
stale.
kind of reminds me a little bit of eating chicken wings, hot wings.
Oh, yeah.
One of the sauces, you
Kind
mean?
of like B-dubs.
Like
Yeah,
a
B-dubs.
Wild
That's what I was
Wings.
thinking.
Buffalo
Yeah.
Wild Wings. Yeah.
Like a chili
Oh my
lime
God.
sauce. I'm not tasting. Oh, say I'm
another
not
one.
taking.
Take another
I'm
one.
not tasting. I'm sorry.
It's good.
Much
I like
of
it.
the
Spice it in
lime.
the drink.
Are you tasting lime?
tasting
'Cause
a
I'm
lot
not
of
really.
lime.
I got the lime.
I'm getting-
I got the lime.
I'm definitely
You
get-
might have gotten a defective
I'm getting
chip.
a little bit of a kick there. That's for sure.
I'm almost gonna cry.
I get the
kind of want to
spicy.
do a couple more here.
Yeah, they're really good.
It's so good.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what chip these or dip with these
Yeah.
would be good.
You need to
with
put
it.
your tongue on the blank side.
like a
so you can
ranch
taste
dip,
lime.
a ranch dip of some sort, or
I did that
blue
twice.
cheese one. Would be awesome.
Oh,
Blue cheese would be really
That's
good. Yeah. Good call.
Another
Now
good
you're really at Buffalo Wild
ranch.
Wings, aren't you?
Another good.
Now, do
ranch,
they have
another good
celery
flavor.
flavored chips
No
too?
ranch, Barf.
And carrot flavored chips?
Gotta have something out there.
Right.
Ranch is better than most of their other flavors.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. This is good shit.
Is this 4
right.
thumbs up?
I'd give it a thumbs up on my part.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
I think it's all the way around.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
complete
Yep.
opposite from the other
I
Done.
think
All
4
right.
thumbs up all the way around.
So hey, so we got on the Pringles flavor kick because
Scorching.
Tattoo Squid suggested that we
friend
do
of the
that.
podcast, Tattoo Squid.
So okay, this one we like. Just
Thank you,
share it
Tattoo.
back. Yeah,
Thank you, Dre.
if you like spicy, do that.
My tongue hurts now though, and I'm gonna have to open another beer.
See, you just need to combine it with like a ranch
That's
Pringle.
a
and
damn shame that you have to open another beer.
That was
Oh,
good.
no.
Sorry to hear that. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Good God. We've taken a long... That's spicy.
Spicy. Is that the Bill Hader?
The Bill Hader. Yeah.
Okay, try it again.
This... Spicy. You guys do it better than I do.
My tongue hurts.
Wow, wow, wow.
This new club is called Spicy.
Oh,
Did you just
God, it's my
whammy?
favorite.
I rolled
whammy.
ineligible
These are my
bachelors
favorite.
called The Squad.
There's rumor has it there might be a movie. There might be a movie.
Out of here.
We'll find out.
Stefan?
Stefan.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
My favorite.
We'll find out. I'd be all about that. Bill Hader. I fucking love Bill
It's just
Hader.
him laughing behind his hands the whole time.
Pretty much. Well, as long as what's his face is also
Seth?
writing.
Well, Seth was always on his side.
John, what's his face? Is a writer from SNL.
Don't
John. Okay.
know. That one guy.
Who always wears a
pants?
shirt. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wore pants.
John Worcestershire.
Worcestershire?
Spicy.
Shire?
Mulaney. John Mulaney.
Oh, Mulaney.
Because he would always fuck
he's
with.
canceled.
He wrote the cards?
Yeah. And
Get out of here. I did not know that.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this because we got a little bit more to talk about.
Okay.
So what John Mulaney would do is they would.
No, I know the story. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was John Mulaney.
It was John Mulaney. Yep. So
So
during
now we're half going even further.
during rehearsal, they'd have all the jokes written.
Yeah.
And they would go through all the jokes in rehearsal. And then when they went to the live show, John Mulaney would stick in a new card that
He hadn't seen.
that he'd never read before.
That's why he was laughing.
That's why he would always break. Yep.
Oh my God, my favorite. Okay.
Oh, are we getting our
Are we
content
rolling
strike
out?
today?
I think
tons.
we've already
We
gotten
haven't done
like two
it
or
yet.
three. No, we've done 2 or 3 already.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Fucking love that song.
It was a good song.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley.
Oh,
Hi,
sorry.
Nicole.
That is so not me. That is not me.
That was me.
Nicole has it.
All right. Hit the outro again.
So
Let's
that's
go.
the
Let's
rumor.
go.
We might see a Stefan movie. I hope so.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'd be all about it.
He's not allowed to do any lines.
And again, thank you so much for sticking around. If you did, hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you got something to reflect on, whether it be mental health or chips
Woo.
or kids in the hall.
Kids in the hall.
Woo, hoo, hoo.
He's trying to open that beer. You're close, man.
Good luck,
You're close.
Do you want some
So
help?
close.
Did you get it? Hey, he got it. For those playing at
Oh, thank you
home,
very much. Thank you very much.
Spicy.
DeeLow just stretched all across the room to open up a beer bottle and was able to keep his headphones on.
Success.
Good job.
And tickle you at the same time.
And tickle me at the same. That
Oh,
actually was
boy.
very ticklish. You got me good. So again,
I
if
pulled
you-
a Pillsbury Doughboy on him.
that was my nickname in high school.
Oh God.
That is not helping with your mental health. It is not being salubrious.
Sardonic.
I wasn't paying
Salubrious.
attention.
All right. Anyway, finish this up.
Anyway, we are the show about everything and nothing all at once.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And if you want to get at us on email, how do you do that? Let's ask the internet. How do you email us? There is a better podcast at gmail.com. Good job. And DeeLow, if you want to find us on Twitter, where do you find us?
There is a better, and then the number one.
So you should have given me
not
that
like
one.
written out, but like the number
actual
one,
number?
like in the numerical key area.
He's on his starting
Like
to
that
starting
number,
his-
row.
the one.
The
Starting his
top
third
row,
beer.
the keyboard.
Yeah.
Starting his third beer.
Sarah, how many beers are you on?
I have had no beers.
Smear it all.
And can you tell us how to find us on Instagram?
There is a better podcast.
Thank you.
No
very
spaces,
much.
all
No
lowercase.
spaces, all
You should have
lowercase.
given me one of those. I know those better.
What, beers? No, you don't know
No,
beer
you don't.
better.
No.
And if you like us, if you love us, if you hate us, it doesn't matter because we are proof that there
is
a better podcast.
Thank you for sticking around. We will see you next week. Is that right?
We won't actually
We'll see.
see them.
Well,
but
we won't see you, but we'll be here.
We'll be-
They'll maybe hear us if they decide they want to keep trying.
Drop a new app.
Don't ever say that again.
Spicy.
We'll see you next week.